In my previous video about Unreal Engine, I said this: I'm no baby! I'm now here to tell you that I lied about that, and I am in fact a baby.
Whoa.
Hello! It is I, KP Games, and today I want to dive headfirst back into Unreal Engine. Now, last time I used Unreal Engine, I created a small horror-inspired room, but I created all of the controls using C++, and I found this to be quite a pain.
Unreal, delete some files, regenerate those files, reopen Unreal and build, and it still doesn't work!
I have been using Godot for a little bit now, and I'm starting to feel pretty confident with it. Recently, I released Swimmy Dave, so I'm starting to feel it's time to make a 3D game. Unreal is great for making 3D games, so it seemed like a good excuse to give it another go. This time, however, we're going to do things a bit differently and explore the blueprint system that Unreal has. So, let's get into it. Before we start doing anything in Unreal, I first need an idea. I want to create an FPS game that has more of an emphasis on movement, similar to the likes of Doom Eternal or Ultra Kill. But in my game, I want the player not to shoot the enemies directly, but instead shoot them off the map. This will make sense in time. So, with that, we just need to know how to make an FPS in Unreal. Well, Unreal has a pretty handy template. The FPS template. All I have to do is create a new project, load everything up, and pow! We have an FPS. But this isn't what we want. So this is where blueprints come in. Blueprints are a visual scripting system, specifically for Unreal Engine. Basically, it's coding, but without the...
It works.
Blueprints instead work with different nodes that you connect together to create logic for your game. Not gonna lie, when I first was looking at videos for this, it was slightly overwhelming, but I quickly found that it did feel just like programming. You got your variables with your gets and the sets, your ifs or branches in blueprints, loops, and features for inheritance and composition. To be completely honest, I found it pretty wild how powerful blueprints are. I'm sure there are some limitations, but at the moment it feels like I can achieve a lot just with them. With my new blueprint knowledge, I gathered some placeholder assets and created a little gun shooting system, and it works really well. After making the shooting, I decided to start a fresh new project. 1, to organise my blueprints and files better, and 2, to remake the blueprints more in line of what I'm going for. That is this rocket launcher that fires projectiles instead of using a line trace. The rocket launcher doesn't destroy things directly, instead it just applies a lot of force to anything within the blast radius, including yourself. I want the rocket jumping to play a part in the movement and traversal of the gameplay, as well as to serve a bit of a risk-reward feature. For example, shooting an enemy too close to you could send you flying backwards. With these mechanics down, it's time to work on some levels. To start with, I just dragged a bunch of cubes everywhere trying to make something functional, but quickly found the cube grid tool, which could be used to model blockouts of levels really quickly. Then, while I was making these levels, I had an idea. What if the game takes place on some rooftops, on a huge city? I quickly cube mapped this idea together, making the windows of the buildings glow to add some lighting to the scene. And after trying it out and quite enjoying the aesthetic, I made some buildings in Blender and used some simple textures to finish the level. You may also notice in the level there are some enemies and some fans. So let me show you the idea of my game fully. These enemies will chase you around and push you back, trying to get you off the building. And there are 2 ways to deal with them yourself. 1, you push them off the building with the rocket, or 2, you push them into obstacles, in this case, the fan. Now on its own, it's not too satisfying. It's missing a key component: sound. And what's the best sound for knocking people off of buildings? Obviously, ah! Alongside the screaming sounds, I also worked on a load of other sounds as well as a music system. And well, here's the first level of the game, uncut and without me talking over it. there we go. That was the demo of my first-person shooter game in Unreal Engine. Love to hear what you think. Do you think it looked alright? Do you think it looked bad? Please, let me know. Comments below. As for that, I will probably continue working on this project. Hopefully there'll be a part 2 to this video, where we learn some more Unreal goodness. And if we look at my subscriber count, we've almost reached 100 subscribers. So if you're new here, please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think, and I hope to see you all again very soon. Ciao. Wow. I really need to stop doing these water-based jokes.